Hi everyone, welcome to Camden Shed. I'm Ian Henderson and I'm looking forward to showing you a little bit about how the railway works, some of the trains. It's not exactly a full timetable yet and nor is anything really regarded as finished. It's very much a work in progress. So I hope you'll forgive me not apologise if every single item that has either not been weathered or doesn't have lamps or doesn't have a crew or whatever it might be. So anyway, I'll show you a little bit of the layout and on we go. So the scenic side of the layout aims to depict all the way from Regent's Park Road Bridge, which still exists in Camden. There's Primrose Hill Station there and the turntable, and then moving down further south in real life, or southeast at least, go past the water tower, the Kohler, the engine shed. You can see obviously that's a very temporary structure until it's built. Then moving down to the far end, you can see there the ash plant has been a little bit more finished, needs a bit more weathering, and then one bay of the 9 of the huge Camden goods depot. It's an enormous structure in real life. Camden #1 signal box, one of the modern ARP types installed by the LMS. And then the footbridge, which enabled people to get across the lines to work at the goods depot coming from this side. And then all the way from that footbridge, all the way down, all the way to Regent's Park Road Bridge in the far end, that's exactly to scale at 21'6". Track was all planned from the OS maps, and apart from the fact that it's too narrow, 16.5 millimeters for the 00, in other words, for the plain track, and then 00SF in the crossings. It should be 18.83, but I'm afraid life's too short. And so to some of the trains. First we have 46146, the Rifle Brigade, on an up express from Blackpool. 46146 was a Camden loco for a considerable time, and this train was strictly speaking a Blackpool 7P duty. This one is a Hornby rebuilt Scot of the same name and number, but which was afflicted by the standard problem of losing mesh from worm to idler gear and the RTR mechanism. So it has a full Comet chassis with plenty of lead. You'll hear that a fair bit. An up express from Glasgow to Euston behind number 46239 City of Chester, also a Camden resident. You'll see a 12-wheel ex-LMS restaurant first in the train here, made from attaching Comet sides to a daypole donor, flanked by first and second open coaches. 46239 is also a Comet chassis with Hornby body. Like all of these locos, there's plenty of added detail, this time mainly from a Comet detailing kit. Next we have 46211 Queen Maud on the down Merseyside Express. One of the prestige trains to Liverpool, this was always an 8P duty, and usually for one of the Edge Hill Princess Royal Pacifics. It was one of the heaviest trains, and this with 13 on is probably too light of the usual load. 46211 is once more a Hornby body over Comet underpinnings, and a short firebox loco at this time, i.e. without the combustion chamber. It is powerful and smooth enough, although it did put up a fight when building it. Common in many expresses of the era were the ex-LMS kitchen cars to diagram 1912, which in this case is made from a full Comet kit. By this time, the most important prestige named trains were in Mark I stock, which I've got mainly from Bachmann and Hornby. The 2-hour Wolverhamptons were part of the dual in the West Coast Mainline Crown, timed tightly to the fastest, i.e. XL schedule, and entrusted pretty much exclusively to the 6P Jubilees. They provided a fast, mainly business service to and from the Midlands. Bushbury and Camden had to keep their Jubilees in very good order to maintain the service, as a Jubilee was right on the limit for 11 to 12 coaches on a fast timing. 44687 was one of the high-running plate caprotis produced after nationalisation. The model is a heavily mollified, well, butchered is maybe a better description, Hornby Black 5. For some reason it is a particularly good chassis, so this mirrors the prototype to an extent, because it was apparently considered by some almost as a Class 6. A 9A long sight loco, here it is deputising on a 7P diagram coming towards the end of its journey from Manchester. Another Comet XLMS 12-wheel restaurant car, this time a composite, is in this train. The most prestigious of the 2-hour Wolverhamptons was the Midlander. It was discontinued in 1959, but not before a set of colourful light blue coach destination boards were brought in. Here, the up train, which includes another kitchen car as described before, was hauled by number 45592 Indoor of Camden. This is a weighted and detailed short firebox Bachmann Jubilee. It crosses with Black 5 number 45027 on a down outer suburban working. The coaches in this train are heavily worked Bachmann non-corridors, repainted, re-wheeled, re-windowed, underframes detailed, then relined and weathered. They do look a bit better than they did. The train does need competing with a brake coach at the front as well as the rear, as all these outer suburbans ran in fixed 7-coach sets. The loco is a DJH Black 5, which is a little more potent than the average Hornby one. The next up train is another named service, the Mancunian, providing a lot of first-class accommodation and 2 catering sections, a kitchen car and first opens, plus a 12-wheel restaurant third and second opens. It clearly catered for the business travel to and from Manchester. Always alongside 7P duty, you could find an ex-LMS rebuilt 7P as here, or a 7MT Britannia. In fact, the up train here passes the shed with the down train loco preparing to back down to Euston. Number 46220 Coronation heads the up Royal Scot into Euston, another from the Hornby Comet combination. The train is mainly ready to run, but the leading BFK and Mach 1 RKs are made from Comet sides on donor vehicles. One of the trailing 3 vehicles has a Wolverhampton squeak. Rebuilt Jubilee 45735 Comet, a mating of Bachmann Jubilee and Hornby rebuilt Patriot, and visiting Royal Scot number 46145, the Duke of Wellington's regiment, built from a full Comet kit, are seen waiting in the queue to reverse under the Kohler. Now we see the down Mancunian in charge of 70044 Earl Haig, as seen before on shed. The loco is a renumbered, slightly detailed and more comprehensively weathered Hornby item. This is the return working of the up train seen already. In real life, the stock of the up Mancunian was cleaned and serviced on quite a tight turnaround in the downside carriage sheds just outside Euston. Similarly, the return working for the Midlander is the down train, here hauled by number 45742 Connaught, one of the Jubilees kept in top condition by 3B Bushby shed. This loco is a fairly big project, a cut and shut of a Bachmann new type short firebox Jubilee with the boiler and firebox of one of the older long firebox ones. With some detailing and plenty of lead, it looks and performs okay. Low running plate Caprotti 44741 is in charge of a short down Parcels. Anyone can buy a new Hornby Caprotti if they have enough cash now, but this loco was an epic conversion from the previous generation Hornby Black 5. A long sight loco at this time. I have a few photos of it at Camden.
I converted a Hornby rebuilt Patriot and a Scot body to the unique 7P 46170 British Legion. Like others of its type, the gear's unmatched, and so a Comet chassis was recently built to replace the RTR mechanism. On a maybe not quite motley enough up Parcels is 45371, a Hornby Black 5 with a Brass Masters detailing kit added. The train has some interesting kit builds near the front, a Gresley BG and a Comet LMS Period 1 steel BG without trussing. Plus there are a couple of heavily modified Lima XLMS 42-foot GUV bogie vans further back. Finally, we get to the down Caledonian behind number 46256, Sir William A. Stanier FRS. The Caledonian was the London Midland region's prestige non-stop lightweight Glasgow Express to rival the East Coast Main Line, introduced in 1957. The train is pretty accurate for 1959, including the ex-LMS kitchen car and the Mark I restaurant second open, made from Comet sides on a Bachmann donor. The Bachmann porthole BFK brings up the rear. The loco, strictly speaking, is in 1961 condition, with overhead line warning flashes applied. It is a recent Hornby body and tender, with a full Comet mechanism and a fair bit of added detail. It's probably the best one I've built so far. Smooth as silk and will pull a house down. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and please like, follow and subscribe if you did. I'll endeavour to do some of the less celebrated trains in a follow-up.